Welcome back to Artifact Cup 28, Major Pack 2 speaking. We have Fukushim versus Ewok in the semifinals. This is the lower bracket on the semifinals. We have already seen me versus Hyper in the semifinals, and we saw Megarith versus Ewok, advancing Ewok to this game, and Raving Loon versus Fukushim, advancing Fukushim to this game. So Fukushim in the Soban, Ewok in the Coalition. Not a mirror match, but sort of close to, since they both have Coalition-style units. And we're watching this game from Fukushim's point of view. Hopefully it doesn't matter too much which point of view we watch from, but Fukushim starting on CUs as the Soban, retiring this base runner because the Soban base runner isn't particularly useful early game anyway. We saw this same move before in Fukushim versus Raving Loon. And Ewok on the other side of the map as the Coalition player in gray and orange, moving out with the base runner instead, and also starting CUs and then moving into RUs.
Salvager online to RU site.
Fukushim starting with LAV fabrication pretty early, and also expanding into more resourcing pretty early.
Salvager ready. Light attack vehicle ready for assembly.
So I want to make some predictions for this game because I haven't seen either of these players play very much. I think the only games that I've cast from these players have been in this cup. So from Fukushim, what I saw is when he was playing against Raving Loon, he tended to enjoy going for Soban railguns and wasn't a particularly aggressive player, but was
LAV construction complete.
Very deliberate, I guess, is what I would say. Not really swarming the enemy spawn or anything like that, but really deliberately just building up force, charging, and advancing forward. So not a turtler player, but definitely sort of a macro player was the impression that I got. Ewok, also sort of a macro player and very hesitant at times. Not likely to move in even when he has the ability to move in with force. But likely to amass a great deal of force, and bested Megarith with a great battle cruiser surprise. So we may see some late game tricks from Ewok. So far we're just seeing a dancing base runner from Ewok. And this one will almost certainly go down. There is a turret. I don't know what I think about this. Turrets are very risky to deploy like this if the LAVs decide to target it, which it looks like they're not going to. So actually this turret will probably pay off, which is surprising. For Fukushim, it may help to know that if you control drag, you can very easily sort of zoom in and target the turret like that. And a turret that is not yet armed can be taken down by a surprisingly small number of LAVs. I'm not sure exactly what the number is. It can kind of depend.
Enemy signature
But in any case, that's a nice pickup for Ewok, who's going to be able to run away with this damaged base runner, grab the artifact, maybe get it to the extraction zone. Let's see how he's pathing that. He might decide to bring it up here, which if you haven't played on this map a whole lot, you may not realize that you can do that. You don't have to approach the extraction zone from here. You can actually come up this ramp off the back and make it into the extraction zone. It's a little more obvious if you've played the 2v2 version because the two teams spawn. You've got a spawn here and a spawn here, and then the other team spawns here and here. And you actually fight the map in a completely different direction, and then this becomes an extraction zone, and this becomes an extraction zone. So typically you sort of view the map this way if you're playing in 2v2.
Light attack vehicle online. We're moving up.
In any event, more LAVs coming out both sides. AEVs coming out from Ewok, which are a great choice. If we see these run into the resourcing here, things could get interesting. Tech-wise, Ewok is going for fighters and just AEVs so far for Fukushim.
LAV taking effective fire.
AEV tech, I should say. No actual AEVs out. Oh, one AEV out. Okay. So this artifact will go down.
Dropped an artifact.
Not a huge deal. Disappointing for Ewok, I guess.
Hostile strike craft
The
destroyed.
LAVs are paying off for Fukushim for early control, but I'm
Enemy
not sure that it
contact on
matters
sensors.
later into the game just because these AAVs are coming out. They're going to
Enemy
make short work of these
contact on the
LAVs if they do
board.
decide to fight. And not much was really won other than that artifact for Fukushima.
Enemy turret
No
detected.
resource kind of control or pressure or anything like that.
Hostile contact.
If these LAVs maybe instead of going down there had swung around,
Enemy sighted.
running past that AAV, maybe hit here, some more damage could have been done.
Armored assault insert.
As it is, we've got a lot of AAVs here for Fukushima, and they're not doing anything. If you got AAVs this early, you want them there. You want them here.
Railgun ready for
Even if there are enemy AAVs in play, AAVs can't do much against other AAVs, but AAVs can absolutely tear apart
Hostile unit
salvagers.
marked.
So just bringing,
Go ahead.
running these
Enemy
past,
unit
even if these are going to come in here,
Forces are pursuing an artifact.
these are better in the enemy base than they are defending your own base from AAVs because you can't do anything against them.
Hostile
anyway.
strike craft eliminated.
Green line confirmed. Identified RU-7.
Not much gonna happen there with that
Conducting
turret.
sweep.
Enemy contact on sensors. Enemy contact on the board.
Now, maybe Fukushima is very concerned about LAVs, in which case this is okay, but I would put one over here. This sort of cluster isn't doing much. So, there must be a tech choice here. Railgun tech has come out for Fukushima. Railguns are being produced by Fukushima. That's nice.
Railgun assembly complete.
Fighter tech complete for Ewok, but no fighters built yet. Now, railguns are interesting because you can use these
Railgun online.
Location marked.
points here to fire down on in this map and sort of control this wide arc. But there are so many hills that it's kind of easy to hide from railguns. So positioning railguns on this map is very challenging, and air often dominates because it's just so easy to pick off the railguns that way. And with all these tight maneuvering spaces, it can be hard to get missile batteries
Move order
into
confirmed.
good
Contact.
positions.
Enemy armor.
So this AAV is doing great. This is just one AAV, very inexpensive, and denying this entire resource point. These AAVs aren't doing anything.
Contact on the board.
Railgun weapons upgrade complete.
Coordinates confirmed.
These railguns, if they had scouted this, maybe should be taking out this AAV, just whittling down the units of Ewok here. Hopefully we'll see that in a moment.
Get us underway.
Enemy armor
See the
inbound.
line of sight being blocked here.
Green line
Oh, and the
confirmed.
railgun's stopping just short of
Upgraded.
getting over the crest. If
Engaging
they just
armored unit.
move over a little bit, they can take that out. As it is, it might have a chance to retreat.
Railgun
Now they have the
engaging
high
enemy
ground,
unit.
so okay, that's good, but it looks like this is going to get away.
Hostile
Yep,
forces are
and it's
pursuing an
gone.
artifact.
So, Ewok with the map control,
Hostile contact on the board.
Fukushima with all of the elements required to have map
All
control,
systems green.
Adjusting course.
fast-moving
New
strike
vector
craft,
launch.
railguns on high ground, AAVs defending railguns, but not really utilizing it. Meanwhile, Ewok.
Hostile contact.
6
marked.
fighters. 5 built, I guess.
Hostile armor on the board.
Lots of AAVs. This is a ton of AAVs to have. No railgun tech yet. Very vulnerable to Fukushima's build here, but Fukushima's build equally vulnerable to these fighters. So it's really to Fukushima's advantage right now
Carrier
to
here.
push hard,
Railgun
and to
online.
Ewok's advantage
Additional power reserves ready
for this
for
game to
nothing.
just sort of drag on without much fighting. And right now there's not much fighting, so this is getting tipped into Ewok's favor every minute. This here could do some damage if it weren't spotted. If it had just moved in faster, as it is, it's going to
Green line
retreat.
confirmed.
Going to give a lot of respect to this AEV. Maybe deserved, maybe not. In any case, no damage really done. No pressure really applied because that AEV was just hanging out there anyway. An attack over here maybe would be useful. These
Go
units
for armor.
are not accomplishing anything. If these units were perhaps up here, with vision, sitting with railguns on top of this cliff, that sport cruiser would be dead before it knew it, and that would be very useful.
On our way.
These units aren't doing
Salvage
anything
construction complete.
because these units aren't advancing, and because Fukushima's entire plan isn't to advance, or excuse me, Ewok's entire plan doesn't involve advancing with these. So at this point in the game, if you're Fukushima and you're looking at this, you're thinking, okay, I see pings in the center. I don't know what's out there. I see pings here. I see enemies all around, but they're not attacking me.
Identified RU-7.
I'd be very, very paranoid about air.
Tracking enemy
Or
target.
about some other macro kind of goal here. This is very vulnerable.
Armor is en route.
Spectrum analysis has identified an artifact.
The captain.
There is no missile battery tech here for Fukushim, but there
Hostile unit
is
marked.
air tech, so that's
On our
something.
way.
I just don't think it's going to be
Hostile
enough
threat
fighters here.
marked on sensors. New threat identified.
By the way, for those who haven't watched my recent casts, I am using the mod that I
Armored
built
vehicle
that
taking
allows
effective fire.
viewing enemy tech choices, which is why we can do that. It's a little skirmish here, but again, you're gonna get away! And now he's going to show off his fighters, which is, I believe, a mistake.
Contact. Enemy armor.
We're going to have an air battle here, both players revealing that they have air, and we're going to find out that Ewok has vastly superior air forces. They're going to prioritize not the railguns, but okay.
Hostile interceptor has opened fire.
On way.
The railguns are definitely what's most vulnerable to
Armored
air at
vehicle
this point.
destroyed.
Punch it.
So it's interesting that Ewok is targeting the
Contact. Enemy
AAVs.
strike fighter airborne.
I think the AAVs could
Green
largely
line
be
confirmed.
Enemy
ignored.
contact on sensors.
Gunship now coming out for Ewok. I don't think it does anything. There's very few unarmored
Contact. Enemy
targets here.
armor.
And there's a lot of anti-air.
Enemy contact on the board.
Away.
I don't think that's a very good gunship target. I would go for salvages
signature
instead.
identified. Railgun under fire.
And that gunship has
A railgun has been launched.
gotta go down, right? It's gotta go down. There's AAVs here, LAVs, excuse me,
Hostile
anti-air,
armor on the board.
strike fighters. Maybe the strike fighters are all out of missiles.
Enemy sighted. Enemy engaging armored unit.
Another gunship.
Send orders.
No way.
Enemy contact on sensors.
But now there's an AA turret, so that's dangerous.
Enemy sighted.
Okay, this is the right idea. This is how you use a gunship. Take out the salvage.
Enemy
Take out
contact
something
on the
that
board.
is in a group like that that's not very armored. Get
Enemy
destroyed.
unit detected. Enemy
As you can see,
signature
AAVs do
identified.
almost nothing to each other. That fight's going to be going on for a long time. Salvagers go down. That's a great use of gunship. The other gunship not
Enemy
used so
salvager
well
neutralized.
against the
Strike fighter
artifacts.
is go for launch.
Displace.
And now this is going to go down
Tracking enemy
probably to
target.
this AA battery.
Signature confirmed. Pinpointing artifact location now.
If you want to see how to use fighters and air in general very, very well, watch Descara. He's got incredible fighter micro, and you can sort of you can learn a lot of tactics for using air more effectively. Here, as expected, these railguns, there were what, 5 of them here before? Now there's basically
Strike
2.
fighter has been lost.
Away.
A salvager has been lost. Armored vehicle taking effective fire. Support cruiser under attack.
Strike fighter.
Enemy interceptor engaging unit.
These units, again,
Go for range.
weren't doing much where they were, if they were up here perhaps, or up here on
Armored
this
unit
little
lost.
ledge
Strike fighter
overlooking the
taking
entire
fire.
battle, then this wouldn't be a problem.
Contact. Enemy strike fighter airborne.
This doesn't may go down. Ooh, but the smoke saving it. Never mind.
LAV
Okay.
destroyed.
Be advised, hostile forces have dropped an artifact. Carrier power reserves expand.
So at this point, with all the AA going on, all the air battles, it's worth checking air
Hostile contact on the
strength.
board.
Fukushima, excuse me, has 2 fighters,
Enemy sighted.
and Ewok down to 3.
Enemy armor inbound.
Fukushima also has a, or excuse me, Ewok
Enemy
also has a
signature
bomber.
identified.
Fukushima has gunships.
Go ahead.
Enemy contact on
Not
the
giving
board.
very much respect to this AA battery or to this missile battery, and is going to lose fighters as a
Strike fighter
result.
down.
Heavy vehicle armor upgraded.
And the gunship just
Require
circling
additional
there.
RUs.
Those units weren't even in
Gunship
combat, so that's
down.
really too bad. That AA battery is getting a lot of work done. Both players with a number of missile ships out.
Base
3
runner
from
in service.
Fukushima, 4 from Ewok.
Secure vehicle for rail.
Railgun
All of
assembly
them
complete.
kept pretty far back. This needs
Ready.
missile batteries guarding it. If this was over here and had 2 missile batteries with it,
Online.
the game changes. Because throughout the game, I think Fukushima has had superior ground forces. So just take that and that,
Systems on
move them here, move these, move them there. Suddenly, you're sitting here and this is all lower ground. This is all lower ground. They can hide behind this dune. They can't get here.
Armored assault online.
This entire flank becomes
Hostile
exposed.
armor on the board.
This is
Move
just sort
order
of a
confirmed.
fun
Railgun reading you.
LAV taking effective
visual
fire.
glitch that we're seeing. The tank is actually driving on the ground as far as the
An
game is
LAV has been
concerned, but
lost. Enemy contact
doing
on
backflips
sensors.
at the same time. A lot of AAVs here.
Armor confirms.
And I don't understand what they're trying to fight. These aren't doing anything. They're not in the resourcing.
Artifact extraction in progress. Resource units exhausted.
We're cleared to move. Moving into
4 support cruisers out for Fukushima, and he's moving out his carrier. As a coalition, excuse me. So that makes some sense. He doesn't have a whole lot of carrier power. This game is a real mystery to me. Both players are being so passive
Railgun assembly
after that air fighting, and they could both afford to be very, very aggressive.
Bomber ready for deployment.
Fukushima has, Ewok has the bombers, and he needs to be able to take out resourcing, take out these land groups. But like 5 AAVs defending a base runner that's just going around the back.
Armored assault in service.
Use the railguns. I mean, this plateau up here is all flat ground. Railguns can sit on any part of this little plateau and shoot anything that's up here and just win.
Hostile unit marked.
1 railgun up here defends this extraction zone
Hostile
with 1
contact on the
AAV.
board.
Hostile forces are
You don't need
pursuing
6.
an artifact.
Ready update. Hostile unit marked.
This is a serious force,
Enemy
especially with the
sighted.
support cruiser on hand to repair any damaged units, which it's not
Anti-air
quite
turret
doing,
identified. Copies.
and should really be further
Enemy
out.
contact on the board.
Oh, excuse me, Fukushima is Soban, isn't he?
Assuming guard
Why did I say
position.
coalition? I guess because it says
Enemy armor.
coalition down there.
Before you start pulling it in. The allies are
Enemy contact on sensors. We have new bearing on hostile target.
Green line confirmed.
Ready. Hostile threat marked on sensors. Enemy signature identified.
This force
Hostile
will win
contact
up here,
marked.
but it just doesn't. You could have 6. You could have 4 of these AAVs going in and raiding the resourcing here. One of these railguns comes up here. One of the railguns joins the resource raiding there. This whole thing could be rolling over this right now.
Hostile armor on approach.
There are bombers and strike fighters in play,
Enemy
which aren't going to
armor
do anything
inbound.
against
Enemy engaging armored units.
missile ships. I mean, there's only 1 here, but you
Ready
could pump out
update.
more out of your
Carrier
carrier.
here.
Your carrier can be kind of
Prepare
mobile
to
production
launch
up front, up on here. You've got the support cruisers back here
Ready.
to...
railgun online.
Base
I'm
runner
sorry that I
engaging
sound so
hostile.
frustrated. It's just I get that way with very slow-paced games sometimes because I just want the action to start. So here, AAV's fighting, which
Alert.
don't mean
Hostile
anything.
strike fighter overhead.
If anything's going to do any damage, it's the
Hostile
strike fighters and the
interceptor has
bomber,
opened
which,
fire.
yep, takes
We
it
have
out, which
lost
they
an
would have
artifact.
even if there were no AAVs here at all to fight.
Contact.
And now this is kind of an
Strike fighter
opportunity for Fukushima. If this just ran in here, all the strike fighters are occupied, but this, all of this is sitting here and
Carrier
not
here.
doing
Armored
anything.
Vehicle destroyed. Contact.
Units
Enemy
don't
strike
do
fighter
anything
airborne.
unless you do something with
Ready
them.
update.
And with 1 bomber here,
Hostile contact
Order
marked.
confirmed.
so Fukushima is
Hostile unit
getting
marked. A sensor post
battle
is taking
cruiser tech.
hostile fire. Hostile contact on the board.
Acquired. Moving the site.
Ewok has battlecruiser tech.
Missile battery in service.
AA turret spotted. Copy. Awaiting orders. Enemy sighted. Ready up. Hostile armor on
If this
approach.
carrier were up
Carrier
here
copy.
producing battlecruisers, that could be a
Hostile turret
very
sighted.
dangerous threat, especially because Soban
threat
battlecruisers are more
identified.
long-range
Light
units. They
attack
have
vehicle under
railguns
fire.
instead of the AoE cannons that the coalition
Coordinates confirmed.
LAV destroyed.
battlecruisers have. But
Tracking hostile.
some of these units are being left behind.
Enemy on sensors.
Support cruisers being left behind. These aren't really being advanced as a
Tracking
unit.
enemy target. Adjust position. Enemy on sensors.
There's just so much hesitation here, and with
Enemy contact on sensors.
Green line confirmed.
there are now 4 missile batteries here. This
Enemy
is
signature
such a
identified.
potent force, and we're finally seeing it advance.
Enemy
So
unit
I'll stop
detected.
yelling about it. But I'm really looking forward to when this force just
Use threat
coalesces
identified.
and engages.
Enemy contact on the
It's
board.
still pretty spread apart.
Location confirmed.
There are ALMs coming out now from
Ready
the carrier,
update.
which is always nice.
An LAV has been lost. Railgun under fire.
But
Hostile
these units
railgun
just being
has
kind of
opened
picked
fire.
off. These units not being seriously engaged.
Hostile threat marked
Okay,
on sensors.
here's the air.
Engage engine. Railgun destroyed. Sensor post under fire. Waypoint.
Railguns being focused by Ewok's air.
A sensor post has been lost.
New heading
The
south.
Soban railguns being
Engaging
eaten
unit.
alive by just
Armored vehicle taking effective fire.
railguns from Ewok. And he's retreating now. And
Alert.
Ready?
Hostile
No!
engaging command carrier.
Steady. Monitor for ruptures.
Captain here.
okay, let's look at the air now for Ewok. Ewok's air is almost completely demolished. You have battlefield supremacy. These two AAVs can defend against all of that. Missile batteries can defend against all that. You don't even need that right now because this resource area is depleted.
We have new bearing on hostile target.
Move that missile battery there.
Move order confirmed.
Have one of these AAVs back there. All of this needs to be destroying that, obliterating it from the high ground. Up here.
Enemy
Maybe
unit
over
in
here.
voltage. Support cruiser taking hostile fire.
Coordinates confirmed.
This doesn't matter. This over here kind of matters. That should be able to clean it up.
Sensor post down.
If not one AAV or a bomber is not the right choice to use
Salvage or
against
destroy.
strike fighters or against
Mortar launch.
strike craft
Target
LAVs.
set.
This
Hostile contact on the board.
is powerful
Bring
if
us
it
around.
can stay engaged. If all these other railguns
Enemy
engage with the
contact on
carrier,
sensors.
but it wasn't trapped.
Alert. A support cruiser has been lost. Enemy engaging armored unit.
Oh goodness. Ewok is so vulnerable right now, and Fukushim just needs to tighten the noose. There are even railguns back here,
A sensor post is
which,
taking hostile
with
fire.
one AAV maybe, could be completely defended against any of this stuff. Could harass this, do the exact same thing that's happening to Fukushima back home. Look at how much damage two AAVs are going to do here.
Alert. Support
Even with
cruiser
ALMs
destroyed.
defending, are going to completely obliterate this resourcing point. And here are the battle cruisers. These are shorter range than the Soban battle cruisers,
Under attack.
but there are 3 of them. And
Hostile strike class
they're just going to eat
destroyed.
this battle cruiser alive. These railguns
Maintenance protocols.
firing. None of them are using mark
Enemy
target.
battle cruiser eliminated.
And they're so close together that this bomber could take them out.
Enemy bomber overhead.
Well, bomber's going to go for the battle cruiser instead.
Alert. Battle cruiser lost.
Both players losing battle
An
cruisers.
assault cruiser has been lost.
Reposition.
Another battle cruiser back here that could have been in the fight and
Be
wasn't.
advised, hostile forces have dropped an artifact.
This is interesting.
Enemy contact on the board.
At this point, I would say that this
Salvage or
game
destroy.
is Fukushima's,
Sensor
but
post
only
under
if
fire.
Fukushima
Armored
moves
vehicle taking
forward
effective fire.
very
Ready to
aggressively
give 'em hell.
with this battle cruiser, with these 2 support cruisers, with this
Carrier
carrier, with these
Already.
railguns. This, if it
Copy.
were just moving forward and chasing Ewok
Sensor
carrier,
post down.
wins. Ewok has 1 bomber. Fukushima has superior
orders.
air now,
Maintenance protocols in effect.
but
Cruiser
lost the
down.
resourcing and is probably too concerned about that.
Guard position confirmed.
At this point, you don't need resources. These are your resources now. If you're Fukushima, you just roll in, own them. Unfortunately, now for Fukushima, excuse me, Ewok is building more battlecruisers because he has the resources to do it. Oh, excuse me, not building more. This is an old.
All out.
These railguns doing a decent job. This should maybe be
Enemy
scouting
signature identified.
to
Redeploying
get vision
squad.
here.
Railgun under fire.
And this bomber is going to come in without any cover.
Railgun has been lost.
Is it gonna find the battlecruiser? That's what it needs to be doing. Find the battlecruiser, get some vision for the railgun. It's just taking damage.
Prepare to launch
Bomber taking enemy fire.
for gunship launch.
It's actually not going to do anything. It's just going to die. So,
A bomber has been lost. Enemy engaging armored unit.
and there's a battlecruiser back here and a support cruiser and 2 missile batteries. Missile batteries need to be forward to be effective.
Ready alert. All stations.
Right.
Hostile carrier approaching AO.
This battlecruiser is now being repaired by the support
Hostile
cruiser, so
contact
it's
on the
going to be a
board.
threat once again. This is the wrong target for a gunship. This makes
Enemy
no
signature
sense. You
identified.
don't target a carrier with a
Salvager
gunship.
taking
You target
hostile fire.
these. You
The
target
sensor post is taking hostile
these.
fire.
You target
Armored
these,
unit
which are
lost.
well outside of any AA range.
Hostile
In fact, there is no
contact
AA
lost.
here for Ewok.
Armor, go ahead.
A sensor post has been lost.
Ewok is basically done at this point.
Ready. Hostile
If this had
threat
moved in
marked
5
on
minutes
sensors.
ago.
New threat identified.
We are also, by the way, less than 6 minutes away from Ewok winning by default.
LAV taking effective fire.
This has been a
LAV
long game.
destroyed.
Copy. Coordinates set.
Enemy sighted.
Destination set. USA.
Here's a cruise missile. Oh my gosh! This is what changes the game for Ewok.
Tracking enemy
Now, there is
target.
still... There's still a battle cruiser here.
Destroyed.
And there are still 3 support cruisers. This is still a fight Fukushim can win. If you just move in, clear these out while you're at it, capture these resource points, forget that. I mean, that's not even threatened anymore anyway. Move forward aggressively.
Awaiting orders.
You have this game, you have the superior air at this point.
Railgun assembly complete.
Use the gunship to clear this out. Bring the battlecruiser supported by 3 support cruisers and just tear apart this carrier at range or this battlecruiser at range, and you win. You have map control, kind of.
Enemy contact on sensors.
Grab some artifacts, escort them into the extraction zone. This is a little tougher to get to, I guess.
Hostile threat marked on sensors.
But time is of the essence, and when you only have battlecruisers and you don't have any resourcing, you need to move because your units are so
Tracking
slow.
enemy target.
Go for ranged.
We have new bearing
Base
on
runner
hostile
coming out, so
target.
maybe he's going to go for that, but this is concerning.
Enemy sighted.
Especially since all this
Enemy
resourcing
contact
is
on
still
sensors.
online.
Bomber set for launch.
Hostile unit marked.
And there's a...
Awaiting order. Enemy contact on the board.
Position. Op ready. Set new heading.
Hostile contact
If there's
on
no
the
support
board.
cruiser back here, there's no point in setting those resources back here. Those should have just
New
been
threat
sent
identified.
here.
Bring engines to speed. Tracking hostile. Enemy unit detected.
Using a bomber to take down a gunship, that's actually appropriate. But probably better to go here,
Green light.
where there are
Enemy
more units to
signature
kill.
identified.
If I had to guess,
Tracking enemy target.
I'm guessing that at this point Ewok will win by default
Hostile
based on the
contact
artifacts.
Adjusting waypoint.
And maybe Fukushima is not aware of that mechanic or not watching the clock.
New threat identified.
But all Ewok has to do is
Hostile contact on the
survive
board.
Range
controlling this
systems
extraction
online.
zone for 3 more minutes.
Enemy contact
And with a
on
battlecruiser,
sensors.
Carrier weapon systems
You can keep
online.
base runners away from this extraction zone for
Hostile
3
threat
minutes.
marked on sensors.
Prepare to launch bomber.
And a bomber on hand.
Go for orders.
You know, I'm going to fast forward this. I don't like to do
Hostile
this.
salvager destroyed.
We're going to see, okay,
Get us under enemy unit detected.
this resource point not even fully taken out.
All ahead full. Enemy contact
2
on
minutes
the board.
remaining.
Position.
We're going to try and capture an artifact over here.
Artifact extraction in progress.
Runners en route.
We're going to go here. It's completely unescorted.
Enemy
There's
sighted.
no scouting on where
Order received. Underway.
Ewok is right now.
Standing by.
We're moving forward, I guess, trying to find
Displacing
him.
now.
Go for gunship launch.
Reading you.
This could deploy UAV to try and find out what's here, what's going on the map. There's no attempts to do that.
Construction
It's
complete.
just cleaning this up.
Coordinates confirmed.
This is gonna
Send
die.
message.
Prepare to launch bomber.
It's just going to be
Hostile unit marked. Base runner
eaten
taking
up by that
enemy fire.
battlecruiser.
We have lost an artifact.
Light attack vehicle under fire. Anti-aircraft
Go
engaging
back to normal
bombers.
speed here. We're at 1 minute and
Prepare to
14
engage.
seconds left.
Adjusting enemy signature identified.
Oh, this is a good choice to
Bomber
use a...
copies.
Oh, never mind. That was attack bomber, not a gunship. Okay. Not a great choice.
A salvager has been lost.
This is a minute left, and basically your only
Reposition.
path to
Bomber
victory is
down.
use that battlecruiser to take out that
Engines
carrier.
speed.
And there are 2 battlecruisers guarding this hill with the high ground. I think this is Ewok's game. And there's
Enemy
nuke,
sighted.
which isn't really going to do much. Doesn't matter. But it's nice to
Enemy
see.
signature identified.
No microwave emitter
Railgun
from
destroyed.
Ship cleared to launch.
Fukushima. A microwave emitter
LAV
targeted
has been
here
lost.
in the back, and then using the battlecruiser might be enough to take out the carrier, but
Alert. 30 seconds left for artifact extraction. Carrier weapon systems online.
Gunship lost. An assault cruiser has been lost. Alert. Command carrier is taking hostile fire.
at this point the battlecruisers are going to kill
Sensor
Fukushima
post under
anyway.
fire.
And with 9 seconds remaining, it really doesn't matter. So, congratulations to Ewok on that. I can't help but think
Hostile bomber engaging
that
unit.
that was Fukushima's game to lose. There were many opportunities there when, after the initial air battles had happened, where Fukushim could have won that by pressing in against Ewok, and Ewok, oh, that's weird, holding on to the superior economy, although probably for most of the game Fukushima had the better economy, considering that this isn't a very big gap. Similar units built, the combat stats weren't particularly one-sided. That was really just a case of not nearly enough aggression coming from Fukushima, and Ewok being happy to just sit back and win with that. So, game 2 between these will be on Taidan Passage. This one. Hopefully this is a shorter game, because those games that go to sudden death, sometimes they can be really interesting, sometimes it's just a pitched battle all game, but in this case there was a lot of waiting around. So to both players, I would encourage a great deal of aggression, even to Ewok, because in many places, even though Ewok did win that game, he was very vulnerable, and anybody who was just slightly more aggressive would be able to capitalize on that situation.
Go for carrier.
Oh, come on.
Construction units
Really?
identified.
This is happening again. This happened once to me earlier, so I'm going to try and restart this replay. Let's go back here. Yep, Taidan Passage, that's the one we want. So, as a general rule, if you play short, exciting games, I'm going to be very excited and probably shout into the microphone a bit. If you play long, drawn-out games, I'm going to be very critical. So, if you want a little less criticism, play short games, play fast games, play very aggressive games. Even if they're long games, be doing something at all times. It otherwise gives me way too much time to sit around and say, no, just do this instead. And backseat drive a little bit as a commentator. So, I apologize if I sound overly critical at some points, but hopefully it is understood as coming from a constructive place. So, we're watching this one from Ewok's point of view. He's opening up with LAV tech and went for RUs to start with, so I'm guessing he's going for an AAV opening. Fukushima, meanwhile, in the red Soban again. Also going for an RU open. We will see what happens. Building LAVs to start.
Research completed.
This is a great map for rails. It's also a decent map for LAVs to move around in. Lots of space for
Rally
that.
point set. Move to location.
Secure PDA for move. Charge layout set. Get started.
Light attack vehicle online.
We're moving up. We got an assignment. RUs identified. Advance and evaluate.
Light attack vehicle in service.
Form up with that strike craft.
Proceed to rally point. Secure location marked.
AAV tech coming up for Ewok pretty
Light attack
soon.
vehicle online.
No tech choice, even though they're available for Fukushima.
Light attack vehicle in service.
Carrier here.
As before, I am using my replay mod that allows me to see the tech choices for enemy players, which is why I can see both and we see a different view.
Taking hostile fire.
Get a turret up. Make sure it's combat ready. Green line confirmed.
Turret coming up, which might actually come up in time, considering these LAVs are here to defend and push these ones off. This is an okay turret position. It's definitely going to defend this extraction zone, or excuse me, that artifact. It's not quite going to defend this one, but that's okay because it's a little closer to Ewok's base anyway. I think Ewok learned this trick from Megarith for controlling that extraction zone.
Be advised.
Secure
Team en route to recover the artifact.
Escorting base runner.
Although, if I recall correctly, Ewok tried placing this turret, and Megareth had placed one over here, and one of them won, and the other... Maybe I'm mixing up who placed which turret, but it's definitely a good spot for turrets. Harder to control over here because one turret up here, you got to be really careful about placing it, or otherwise it's going to miss one side or the other, depending on what side of that crest it's on.
Copy.
So Ewok definitely winning that engagement.
Prep for displacement.
We'll have AAVs to move up, and he's doing the right thing here. Moving just directly with these AAVs toward the enemy expansion. I would say, even better is just go right into their heart. Maybe scout with these LAVs, figure out where the carrier is, and go to wherever the carrier isn't. Even though this is a Soban carrier, carrier is still a bit better at defending than a support cruiser.
Moving. Eyes open out there. Just when we were getting
It would be nice to see these being used as scouts rather than escorts.
Armored vehicle is taking fire.
Artifact recovered. Authentication confirmed.
Let's clear out. Be ready to engage.
Going for the LAVs, I think, is not the best choice. You want to be up in the face of these salvagers. You don't care about LAVs. You're a tank. You have armor. You just don't need to care. Kill the salvagers. Yeah, even a big carrier can't do anything to you. You're a tank. Get the high ground and kill those salvagers. That's good. Oh, I wouldn't run away. I would keep fighting. Maybe it's being shoved away by the carrier. A little bit of skirmishing over here. That's not really going to matter much.
Be advised. Team en route.
The ALMs also aren't going to matter much, and if you can, it often helps to try and bait a Soban player into giving you lots of ALMs that you can kill, because they're expensive. This is going to do a lot of damage here. This has obviously done a lot of damage here. This is the right way to use AAVs. Maybe even a little more passive than some of the hyper-aggressive players do, but even as a relatively passive open, going for AAVs this way and then just running them into an enemy base, this doesn't matter. This can't do anything to your AAVs. This AAV will continue to chew up salvagers even with them being repaired by the support cruiser. These AAVs will chew up ALMs and consume your resources that way. Fukushim's just getting railgun tech. Railguns are the only way to really beat this, and it's almost too late.
Light attack vehicle is under fire.
These AAVs would be better served just roaming over here to counterattack rather than sticking around to try and defend, because the AAVs just can't do anything here. These are basically invulnerable to AAVs. There's almost no damage being taken here, even when a carrier is involved.
Battle report. Enemy cruiser destroyed.
It's worth noting these are also armored AAVs, whereas these are not. Looks like Ewok must have 3 armor levels. Is that right? Let's check the carrier.
Enemy salvage
2 armor levels. Okay. These AAVs are just not going down. It's anything but a railgun. I would almost have run these close to the railgun to try and take that out.
Enemy contacts on the board.
Just hitting the salvagers more.
Armored vehicle is taking fire.
As far as these AAVs is concerned, the job is done. The salvagers are gone. The economy of Fukushima is trashed. Map control is firmly in the hand of Ewok here, pulling the artifacts. And these are 4 AAVs that by now could be over here, and it would be just the opposite situation in the favor of Fukushima, where these AAVs can't do anything about it. There would be no railguns here from Ewok, because Ewok didn't have railgun tech. So, if you are under attack by AAVs and you have AAVs, run your AAVs away. Make the enemy forget about them, and then show up on their doorstep and burn their house down. Don't try to use them to defend.
Base runner responding.
Light attack vehicle in service.
We're up and running.
Research complete.
Because if you can reset this, right now this is a great position for Ewok to start the game in a sense, because he has an economy and Fukushima does not. But Fukushima could have reversed that and made it so that Fukushima had a building economy while Ewok's was destroyed. Meanwhile, Fukushima would have railguns back home to defend against these AAVs here. It'd be a great way to reverse the tide of the game.
Light attack vehicle enhancements online.
Unidentified hostile incoming. Authenticate. Tracking armored craft on approach. We've detected something. Can you confirm visual? Alert. Support craft has been engaged.
Ewok is now building railguns, so that window is really closed. These AVs are not going to have an opportunity to come in here anymore. If they had gone a few minutes earlier, they would have, but now... I mean, you can imagine how long it would have really taken if those AVs had just left right away after they had been built and come here. That railgun would never have been out in time. These resources would all be gone. That support cruiser would be dead.
Friendly vehicle has lost possession of an artifact.
The only thing that could possibly have saved Ewok would be carrier power, which, to be fair, he has a fair bit of because of the artifacts, but I don't know if he would have gotten that other artifact had his economy been trashed, or if one AV had been sent to stop it.
Deployable out.
Strike craft taking effective fire. Push through. Alert. LAB down. Copy. Coordinate set. Set new heading.
Now, these railguns were kept so close to the carrier that they don't have this crest. It's going to be much harder for them to defend now because these AVs have this high ground and can hide behind this crest again.
Turret is under fire.
This turret's going to do some nice work over here.
Railgun online.
Coordinates confirmed. Destination set. We're moving out. Push up to that point. Go for carrier. Copy. Displacing now.
Railgun operational.
These AVs are giving up that hill a little bit, which isn't great of them, but they can
Missile
smoke.
battery fabrication systems now online.
Armor is en route.
Now, this I like. Turning around and killing a railgun that's overexposed is a great move for AVs, especially if you carefully use smoke.
Enemy railgun eliminated. Armored vehicle has been destroyed.
And using this AV to deploy smoke, not so good. Gonna block line of sight for his own railguns there. And now these railguns not moving away, not having high ground to hide behind, not really having a great firing arc, are all going to be eaten up by these AEVs, and we're back to square one, where Ewok has AEVs in Fukushim's base unopposed. Meanwhile, these AEVs, this is the right idea, but there are railguns back home defending. So it's a question, you know, again, these are in a bad position. These should be perhaps up here on this arc so that these railguns never would have been able to approach. As it is, these AEVs are going to get in, and they're going to be right in range of these railguns. However, Ewok does have armor upgrades. These railguns from behind were able to help out and kill one of those. So, that attack doesn't go as well. And Fukushim declares the GG and surrenders out. So that game, really, it all just came down to the AAVs. You cannot defend with AAVs against other AAVs. You need to just sort of try and base trade. Not fully base trade, but you need to try and trade blows and deliver as much damage as you can. If you both have AAVs, you have no business defending with them. Both players could probably have done a little bit better positioning with their railguns on top of hills, but all things considered, I think Ewok played well. Ewok knew what he had to do in order to hold on to those games and executed very well, especially with the AAV rush in this game. Game one, both players very, very passive, and that happened to work out in Ewok's favor, but I think both players could probably use an extra dose of aggression. So it was good to see that from Ewok this game, hoping that in future games with Fukushim, we'll see him play more aggressively and throw his units into the fray a little bit more often. So thank you for watching. I'll show the other tabs real quick here, but I think there's going to be no surprises here on this one. Next up, because this has Ewok progressing into the finals, will be me versus Ewok in the final set. And again, since I obviously know my perspective of the game, I will try and make that cast a little more focused on analysis on what Ewok is doing and what he does well and what he could improve on. And so hopefully this entire Artifact Cup 28 cast is a little more educational, since there aren't as many bombastic, exciting plays in this cup. A lot more longer, drawn-out sort of fights going on. But thank you for watching, and look forward to the finals.